Last time on Dragon Ball Daima, Goku whipped out his special beam cannon, and it hit the Geekdom 101 right in the heart. It spread like an infection across the fan base, and even bled into the Dragon Ball community. Nobody understands shit about basic lore, or Dragon Ball Z logic, or read rights, or the concept of retcons. Because he can just do that. How will they cope with all these retcons? Find out in the next Dragon Ball. I don't even know what the next Dragon Ball project is. It's probably going to be cooler than this one. It's probably going to be cooler than this one. Yeah, I like it.
We have a conversation with Goku and Vegeta, and Vegeta asked Goku about the new transformation. Now, first of all, Goku straight up calls it Super Saiyan 4. He says Super Saiyajin full, and he said that he continued to train after the Buu Saga, which is true. Well, he didn't say after the Buu Saga, but he continued to train, which is obvious because Vegeta did too. And he says that he always thought he had it in him, but he didn't even know. It just kind of happened, is what he said.
Super Saiyajin 4のことか？ブーがすごかったからな。あの後特訓したんだ。うまくいくかどうか自信なかったけどな。
まるでスーパーサイヤ人のバーゲンセールだな。
おめえだって3になったくせに。
So it feels like this is a combination of what Jordan and I were saying and training. So we obviously were saying that training didn't play a part in it because he would have been able to unlock the form on his own, but Neva's magic is what actually triggered it. So it was a combination of the two. However, there's no explanation in this episode as to why or how Goku doesn't use the form again, with the exception of him saying it just kind of happened. It almost feels like he didn't know it was going to happen, but that doesn't make sense because in the previous episode we see him tap into it on his own. So this is again more unresolved plot threads. This is going to lead to canon arguments. I already see it.
So we watched the end of Dragon Ball Daima. Yeah. It was lackluster to say the least. It was anticlimactic to say the least.
It's very jokey, obviously.
I did love the first 10 minutes. Well, I love the whole thing, but the first 10 minutes were fucking god tier animation. When it comes down to Dragon Ball Z.
Why is it like something comes out with Dragon Ball, alright, and the fandom, they just catch it's a taste of autism.
Oh, yeah.
Every single
That's
one
what I
of
was
them.
trying to get to, yeah.
It's just horrible. Like, even the Geekdom guy is still on. It's still a magic form, but I'm not going to call it a potential unleash, but it's still a form that never helped unlock. He literally says unlock.
The other thing that was a disappointment was the explanation or lack thereof of Super Saiyan 4. So Vegeta asked Goku about the new transformation, which Goku straight up refers to as Super Saiyan 4. Like, it's called Super Saiyajin full. Like, he straight up calls it that. And that's the only time it's ever called that in the entirety of this show. And he basically says that he underwent special training after the fight with Buu, and that it just kind of happened. However, clearly based on the visual cues, Neva had something to do with it because he unlocked the form with his magic. So I'm not really sure what the messaging is here. Like, Goku says that he did special training, did not go into what the training was or who he trained with or any of that stuff. And then when you look at episode 18, you literally see Neva using his magic to rearrange Goku's DNA. So it's very confusing that it contradicts it. I'm gonna just assume that it's a combination of both, that Goku knew he had something else in him and Neva was able to just trigger it. Goku couldn't achieve the form on his own. That's the way I'm seeing it until Neva triggered it, but there's no explanation but beyond that. Like, there's nothing else told. So either we're gonna get notes or something later, or maybe nothing.
But to his credit, in the new video that he put out, that's not like the new video he's gonna put out tomorrow, he did say his opinion instead of saying, guys, this is the facts. It is Neva's magic. He did say it's his opinion in that video.
First of all, that's what you're supposed to do. Especially if you have leaks of the fucking concept art and the You said possible script in other videos. That would be you. You implied he had other scripts. However, I didn't even believe that. That doesn't matter. It's just stupid. Like, why would you have canon debates on the legitimacy of a retcon? Like, do you guys not know what that means?
Like, bitches, he did not know that he was gonna make Super Saiyan 4 when he did it. This was just written down. So why is it such a debate of where something fits if he just wrote it down? It was not in his head before he made Super.
Before they put ink to paper and made that quote between "This is my final form, Beerus." It's called a retcon. Let me go ahead. Hold on.
Yeah, when they did Super, they did not think they were gonna do Daima.
In a film, TV series, or other fictional work, a piece of new information that imposes a different interpretation on previous described events, typically used to facilitate a dramatic plot shift or account for inconsistencies. Yeah, Super Saiyan 4's inconsistency. It's fucking cool! That was the whole reason it would exist. Dude, the Geekdom guy even says they did this for the hype. They looked at the charts. Whenever they keep making a new movie, they look at the popularity of a certain character, like Broly, like Gohan, and they whip something out. So the last thing that Toriyama did before he died is ship off Super Saiyan 4 and says, have at thee, eat yourselves alive, and jizz your pants. You will need new shorts.
Because Super Saiyan 4 is now canon. And they actually call it Super Saiyan 4 in the last episode. And on top of that, like the Geekdom thing, he says he was working toward it, toward doing it in the first place. Meaning, guess what? Neva just potential unleashed his ass and helped him get to it early. So he was gonna get it. He was probably gonna get it regardless. Now, would he have gotten it in a legitimate way in training regardless?
He needed his tail.
And he would need his tail.
Well, not to worry, my boy. We can fix it so this little nuisance of yours never grows back. I'll warn you, it might sting a bit.
It's magically sealed if you pay attention to Dragon Ball lore.
But at the end of that episode, they literally say, I was working toward that form, I had no idea it was gonna pop out. They don't say that Neva helped me do it, but Neva helped him do it. Neva potential unleashed his ass. I don't know why that's so hard for him to come to grip with.
No fucking clue. However, fellas, why do we gotta be retarded? That's all I gotta say.
Another thing was the coup shit.
Oh, that coup shit pissed me off. But
it was a gag.
Only a little bit.
It was a gag.
It was a gag.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Yeah, and
there was a reason.
Yeah, there was a reason for it. So I came around to it immediately. Plus, he's the smart Majin Buu, and there's no good reason why.
There was a reason for it. The person that defeats the Demon King becomes the Demon King, and Ku got the cape.
Yeah, it was wild because all I thought about was they just wanted to make the Demon Realm like Wakanda and make it strong and away from everybody else.
No, but imagine if they actually made Piccolo the actual Demon King, and he lived up to the Demon King Piccolo. The bugs, the fusion bugs that we didn't get to see at all.
Yeah, and for those who don't understand like basic literary techniques, it's called Chekhov's gun, and the reason why most people thought Gogeta was going to be part of Chekhov's gun implies that if something exists or is on screen or on the page, if they talk about it, it is most likely going to pop up. Chekhov's gun, a narrative principle that states that every element in a story should be important to the plot. Ooh, and let me throw in one other one. The concept of Piccolo not knowing the Namekian language, even though 14 years ago... Wait, no, it's around 20 years. Never mind, I'm fucking up. It's around 20 plus years. 20 plus years ago, when he got birthed, and he came around the next fucking year or so. I can't remember how fast he grew up to be an adult. So it's 3 years. He becomes an adult in 3 years. He fights him, and they literally speak Namekian. Because it was an unknown language that only the two of them knew. And even if you said that he didn't understand Namekian, Piccolo himself, he fused with Kami and gained his godly ass knowledge. There is no reason other than jokes, because it's a joke. It's giving Glorio a purpose. Have some sense, read some Dragon Ball, watch some Dragon Ball, understand your
Dude, could
source
you imagine
material
if the-
before you complain. I say this all the time. Stealth, which is the third guy, he looked at TikTok. We had a whole mini fight about this because it made 0 sense. Two days, it was Wednesday. Before Daima, he said he watched the finale, saw Gogeta, and all the fight. And then he said, not only was it not Japanese, it was some other language. Like, I don't know how to explain this in any other term. I don't know how you believe watching a TikTok and never being able to see it again, even though that would go everywhere in the Dragon Ball community, and then just expecting me to believe that you watched it. You're like the poobah of looking up information. The tism is for everybody.